My parents packed a backpack and asked me to deliver it to my younger brother. On the way, I stopped at a gas station. Something about the bag felt wrong. I opened it and froze. Inside was a strange device. My heart started racing. I drove straight to the nearest police station. When the officer looked inside the bag, his face went pale. "Where did this come from?" he asked. My heart nearly stopped. "My name is Claire Bennett. I'm a cybersecurity analyst in Denver. My job is to notice things other people miss. The extra login at 3:12 a.m., the invoice that doesn't belong, the accident that happens right after someone asks too many questions. At work, they call it attention to detail. At home, my family calls it being dramatic. In our house, drama was reserved for my younger brother, Dylan. He was the one everyone protected. If I got good grades, it was expected. If Dylan remembered to pay a bill, my mom treated it like he'd cured cancer. My dad's love always came with instructions. My mom's love came with guilt. Mine came with responsibility. So when my phone rang that morning, I answered before I was even fully awake. "Claire," my mom said, panic shaking her voice, though it sounded almost rehearsed. "It's Dylan. He's been in an accident in New Mexico. He's in the hospital. Your father and I are driving there right now." I sat up so fast my neck cracked. "Is he alive?" "Yes, he's stable," she said quickly. "But he's alone. He needs his things. We packed a backpack for him. It's by the door. Please take it to the hospital." "Text me the hospital," I said. "Put a nurse on the phone." "I can't," she snapped. Then her voice softened the way it always did when she needed me to carry something heavy. "Honey, please. Just do this for your brother." I heard my dad in the background, his voice low and impatient. "And Claire," my mom added, "don't open the backpack. Just take it straight there." I paused. "Why would I open it?" She laughed, small and brittle. "Because you always have to check. Just don't." Then she hung up. I drove to my parents' house like the city owed me a favor. The porch light was on. The front door was unlocked. That should have bothered me more, but fear makes you overlook things. The backpack sat on the entry bench. Black canvas. A handwritten tag with Dylan's name. It looked normal. It felt wrong. Too heavy for clothes. Dense. Intentional. My phone buzzed. "Please hurry." My mom texted. "He's asking for you." That line hooked into my chest. Dylan asking for me? He almost never asked for anything unless it came with an excuse. I tossed the backpack into the passenger seat and started driving south. An hour later, still in Colorado, I called the hospital number my mom sent. Automated menu. Patient lookup. I typed Dylan's name. No record found. I tried again. Same answer. I called my mom. Straight to voicemail. I called my dad. The phone just rang. My hands tightened on the steering wheel until my knuckles ached. I told myself it was a clerical error. Maybe he hadn't been admitted yet. Maybe the system hadn't updated. But my job trains me to recognize patterns. When details don't match, someone wants you looking in the wrong direction. And the only detail my mom cared about was that the backpack stayed closed. So I pulled into a gas station just past the border. The wind slammed against my car like it was angry too. The backpack sat on my lap. I stared at the zipper like it was a line I couldn't uncross. "Just clothes," I whispered. I opened it. On top was a folded sweatshirt. For a second, relief rushed through me. Then I lifted it. The air left my lungs. Inside was a metal device, rectangular, packed with bundled wires and a small blinking light. Not a toy. Not a charger. Something built for one purpose. And built to do it quietly. I zipped the backpack shut like it was radioactive. My mind started racing through every possible scenario. A traffic stop, a search, handcuffs, my face on the news under the word suspect. My life falling apart in public. So I drove straight to the nearest police station. I needed authority between me and whatever my parents had just handed me. Inside, fluorescent lights buzzed overhead. The air smelled like disinfectant and stale coffee. A uniformed officer looked up as I stepped to the desk and placed the backpack on the counter. "My parents asked me to deliver this," I said carefully. But something inside didn't look right. He opened it. The color drained from his face. "Where did this come from?" he asked. And in that moment I realized something terrifying. Whatever my parents had planned, I had just walked straight into it. "I need help," I said. "I found something in this." The officer looked up half bored. What kind of something? Metal. Wires. A blinking light. His expression changed instantly. He didn't touch the backpack. The color drained from his face like he'd seen this situation before, and hated the ending every time. Where did this come from? He asked quietly. My parents, I said. They packed it. They told me to deliver it to my brother in the hospital. He pressed a button under the desk. Voices in the lobby dropped. Somewhere behind me a door clicked shut. Another officer appeared and gently guided me away from the front desk like I was something fragile. They placed me in a small interview room while the backpack was carried away carefully, like it might explode if someone breathed too hard. My hands were shaking so badly I had to sit on them. A few minutes later, a man in plain clothes walked in. He flashed a badge so quickly I barely saw it. Federal. The way he said my name told me he already knew more than I did. Claire Bennett, he said calmly. Tell me exactly what happened. I told him everything. The phone call, the accident story, the backpack, my mom telling me not to open it, the hospital not having any record of Dylan. When I finished, he leaned back and studied me like I was evidence. What you found isn't a bomb, he said. I didn't relax. Then what is it? It's a component used in remote drone control systems, he replied. Devices like this have been connected to recent attacks on energy infrastructure. Substations, remote facilities, power disruptions. My mouth went dry. So, I was carrying terrorist equipment. You were carrying something that would look exactly like that, he corrected. There are increased patrols along certain routes right now. If you had kept driving, there's a strong chance you would have been stopped, searched, and arrested. The word arrested felt like a weight dropped onto my chest. He watched my reaction carefully. Someone tried to set you up, he said. I stared down at the scratched laminate table. Why me? You're credible, he replied. Professional. Clean record. The kind of person people wouldn't suspect. Until it's too late. A short, bitter laugh escaped me. My own parents. The agent didn't react. We're investigating your parents for financial crimes, he said. They were involved in an investment fund that collapsed. It turned out to be a pyramid scheme. The room suddenly felt too bright. The audit uncovered money laundering transfers tied to people we're also investigating for infrastructure sabotage. I thought about my mom bragging last fall about finally making smart money. My dad's expensive new watch. The way they'd stopped asking me for financial advice because they thought they'd outgrown me. They're in trouble, I whispered. They're about to be, he said. And it appears they wanted the focus on you instead. Everything clicked into place. The unlocked door. The backpack that was too heavy. The fake hospital story. The warning not to open the bag. None of it had ever been about Dylan. What about my brother? I asked. The agent nodded slightly. We contacted him. I jerked upright. He's alive. He's fine. He's in Denver. He went to work this morning. He had no idea any of this was happening. Relief washed over me first. Then anger, sharp and clean. They used him, I said quietly. They used his name to pull me into it. Yes, the agent said. My phone buzzed again. A text from my mom. Where are you? Did you get there? Not are you safe? Not how's Dylan? Just the status of the package. I looked up at the agent. You want to catch them? We want to stop them, he replied. And follow the chain. I swallowed. My voice came out steadier than I expected. Tell me what to do. That night I sat alone in a hotel room I barely remembered checking into. Sleep wasn't an option. Every time I closed my eyes I saw the gas station parking lot and the blinking light inside that backpack. When I'm scared I do the same thing I do at work. I investigate. I opened my laptop and started digging, not for comfort but for proof. My parents had never been careful online. They treated the internet like a mailbox. Drop something in, walk away, assume no one looks. But high-yield investment funds leave trails. So do panic withdrawals. And so do the kind of people who promise returns that sound like magic. By 2 a.m, I had their old emails pulled up from family message threads. The investment opportunity. The glossy PDF. And a calendar invite labeled investor call. Something told me that call was where this whole nightmare had really started. I cross-checked domains, registration records, and payment processors. The same names kept appearing, like fingerprints left all over the system. A shell company here. A consulting LLC there. Money moving in circles until it stopped looking like money at all. When the agent returned the next morning, I slid my laptop across the table. "I'm not guessing," I said quietly. "This is where they put the money. These are the people they dealt with." He studied the screen for a long moment, then looked at me. "You did all this overnight?" I shrugged my throat tight. "You said someone tried to set me up," I replied. "I'm just showing you the hands that tied the rope." He didn't praise me. He didn't comfort me. He simply nodded once. The kind of nod that meant he had just decided I was an ally, not a liability. That afternoon my mom called again. I answered on speaker while an agent listened beside me. My mouth tasted like metal. "Claire," she snapped, skipping any fake concern. "Where are you? The hospital is asking questions." "What hospital?" I asked, letting my voice shake. "I can't even find Dylan in their system." Silence filled the line. Dangerous. Then my dad's voice cut in, low and cold. "Stop being clever." "I'm not being clever," I said. "I'm scared." My mom jumped back in, her voice suddenly sweet. "Honey, don't do this right now. Just bring the backpack. If you love your brother, stop making everything about you." There was the old lever they always used. I swallowed and played the role. "I'm coming," I whispered. "I'm just shaking." "Good," my dad said, satisfied. "Then do what you're told." The call ended. The agent beside me exhaled slowly. "That," he said quietly, "was not the voice of parents worried about their son." "No," I replied. "That was the voice of people worried about their alibi." Day 2 was all about pretending. The agents explained the plan. My parents needed to believe their trap was still working. If they thought I was still their bait, they'd show their hands. I would call my mom and say I was close. We'd meet where they chose, a hospital parking lot in New Mexico. They would come for the backpack, probably to take it before I could be searched. After that, they'd spin whatever story they needed to make me the villain. I made the call. "Mom," I said, letting my breath shake. "I'm almost there." Her relief came instantly. "Good. You have the backpack." "Yes," I said. "It's in the car." "Don't talk to anyone," she snapped, then softened. "Just meet us. Please. You're all we have." "All we have." Another phrase they'd used my whole life. I agreed. The moment the call ended, my hands stopped shaking. Not because I wasn't scared, but as I finally understood the rules. Day 3. The hospital parking lot glowed under harsh lights. People walked by with coffee cups and tired faces, living normal lives inches away from the edge of mine. I parked where the agents told me to. The real device was gone. A decoy backpack sat in the passenger seat, same weight, same shape. Tonight wasn't about the device. It was about my parents. Their car rolled in from the far entrance. My dad was driving. My mom's head kept turning, scanning the lot. They parked 2 spaces away and got out quickly. My mom rushed toward me like she was running to a dying child, but her eyes went straight to the passenger seat. "You have it," she whispered. I lifted the backpack slightly. "Yes." My dad stepped closer, his jaw tight. "You didn't open it." It wasn't a question. It was a demand disguised as one. "No," I said, forcing my voice to tremble. "You told me not to." My mom exhaled in relief so deeply it made me feel sick. "Good girl." I stared at her. "Where's Dylan?" Her expression flickered. "Inside," she said quickly. "Tess. No visitors." My dad reached for the backpack. "Give it to me." I didn't let go. "If he's hurt," I said quietly, "why are you asking about this first?" My mom's smile tightened into something sharp. "Because we don't have time for your questions, Claire. Don't be difficult." My dad's voice dropped, cold and final. "Hand it over." "Control."